This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen Gipp, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news.
It's Friday, March 13th, 2026, and here are today's stories. Fuel prices are suddenly climbing, with reports from the United States and Australia. Tensions in the Middle East and supply disruptions are rattling global fuel markets. In Guanajuato, Mexico, calm appears to have returned after road blockades, burned vehicles, and heavy security tied to the reported death of a cartel leader. But many locals say questions still remain about what really happened. Student loans in the U.S. are a constantly shifting maze. Rules change, payments fluctuate, and borrowers are left guessing. We break down why forgiveness and repayment programs can feel impossible and what it means for hundreds of thousands struggling to stay afloat. Surfers and locals in Tobago are pushing back against a proposed hotel, fighting for tourism that protects coral reefs, keeps beaches open, and works with nature rather than against it. Sugar alternatives are booming, promising fewer calories and steadier blood sugar, but new research shows hidden side effects and health debates. We take a closer look at what these sweeteners really mean for your body. Children in Malaysia are taking lessons outdoors, exploring forests, streams, and gardens. This hands-on approach helps kids stay curious, active, and deeply connected to the world around them. And sometimes the best guidance comes from within. We explore how listening to your intuition can lead to clearer decisions, stronger confidence, and a deeper connection to yourself.
Fuel prices are rising sharply, with UNN field messengers in the United States and Australia reporting sudden increases. The Middle East conflict and supply disruptions are adding pressure to global fuel markets.
Hi, today we have a report from our fuel messengers in the United States and Australia. Our fuel messengers have noticed a significant increase in fuel prices since the United States, in coordination with Israel, launched a major military offensive against Iran on February 28, 2026. So let's see what's happening at the pump in the United States.
This is Field Messenger Hester reporting on gas prices, Little Rock, Arkansas, March 4th, 2026.
So you can see Hester paid $3.50 a gallon for gas.
Hello, everyone. This is Irene from Staten Island reporting for United Network News. Today I will be exploring the price gouging rumors in my area and New Jersey. Early in the week on Monday, March 2nd, I traveled from Staten Island to New Jersey, and there I visited my local Costco. The price of gas was $2.69 a gallon. March 6th, I revisited that same Costco store in New Jersey, and the price of gas was $2.82, which is a difference of 13 cents a gallon within a 5-day period. As I was leaving New Jersey, a local mobile station touted $3.17 per gallon. However, this morning, March 6th, my local mobile station and their selling price per gallon, regular, was about $2.99. When I returned, within 2 hours, their price markup was 16 cents a gallon, which was $3.15. Local stations around the area are also touting large hikes. My local Citgo station significantly raised their prices to $3.27. Thank you for watching.
So let's see what's happening at the pump from our fuel messengers in Australia.
G'day, it's Julie here, reporting for United Network News on fuel prices. We've had a lot of movement over here in Australia. We've had a up to 30-cent increase at the Metro. We've had on the 4th, we had an increase of $1.54 up to $1.69 in just 1 hour. We had a bit of panic buying over the last 3 days. They had a discussion between the ACCC and Shell in regards to putting prices up. Shell replied that they actually had supply problem. The prices do keep on going up at this point in time. This is Julie again, signing off.
Hi, field messages, Leanne and Jerry, reporting for UNN in Tamworth, New South Wales, Australia. On Tuesday the 3rd of March, I received a message from my family members in Newcastle, which is 3 hours southeast of here, saying that their local service stations were running out of diesel due to the conflict in Iran and the closing of the Strait of Hormuz. As our vehicles run on diesel, I drove into town to investigate and fuel up. On arriving in town, it was business as usual, no queues or panic buying. However, the prices had increased by up to 15 cents a litre. On Wednesday, prices had further increased by 10 to 20 cents per litre, some now charging $2.10. It is now Thursday and further increases have happened overnight, with one service station charging $2.19. Local Facebook groups have seen angry residents accusing service station owners of price gouging, as many stations had at least a week's supply left before having to purchase more fuel. According to the federal government, Australia has only 34 days of diesel and 36 days worth of regular petrol left in storage, well under the 90 days supply we are supposed to have. Concerning are the flow-on effects of this whole situation. Local farmers who are in the process of planting winter crops, especially after a hot, dry summer, and then in turn the price of food in general. Transport costs are already higher in country areas, so we will wait and see how this all evolves. Thank you, Fuel Messengers, and thank you for watching. See you next time.
UNN Field Messenger Marianne reports from Guanajuato, Mexico, following the alleged death of a well-known cartel leader. After road blockades, burned vehicles, and heavy security across the region, life seems to have returned to normal, but locals remain uncertain about what really happened and what it could mean for their community and tourism.
Hello, this is Marianne, Field Messenger with United Network News. This report comes to you from a small village outside of the city of Guanajuato in Guanajuato State, Mexico. I wanted to give people some insight into what's been going on in this part of Mexico, which is one of the states that experienced violent unrest, as they say, after the alleged death of Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, a famous cartel boss dubbed El Mencho. In Guanajuato City, I heard reports of people seeing burning cars beside the road and some OXXO chain convenience stores on fire. These images were taken by one of my flatmates. He also reported seeing smoke billowing out of some of the big supermarket stores such as Mega Soriana. One person I know was in the biggest mall in the city, Alaya Mall, when federal forces came through the packed mall in the afternoon and ordered everyone to evacuate. It was only as she was leaving that she saw smoke billowing out from the back area of Chedraui, the large supermarket chain store in the mall. They also saw some cars on fire on the way home. The downtown area looked like a deserted ghost town quickly. The official word was to stay home and not go out unless you have to, and embassies ordered expats to shelter in place. I did not hear any reports of people being hurt or injured. On Monday, a day after the order went out to stay home, schools and universities of Guanajuato suspended classes. I heard reports from people who had to drive around that day, and they said the streets were almost empty of people, few stores were open, and there was almost no sign of burning cars or blockades or any more burnt-out stores. Guanajuato police reported that all the blockades had been contained, but to stay home and stay safe, which was a bit of a contradictory message, I thought. On Tuesday, everything was back to normal, and it was back to business as usual. Stores and markets were open. It was just another casual day, everybody just going on with life like usual. The only thing I noticed was that the prices in the large supermarkets seemed to be cheaper than they had been in a month. One person I spoke to who lives outside of Puerto Vallarta said things had been very intense and that everywhere was still under lockdown conditions, so she couldn't really confirm what was going on. In Guanajuato City, the people I talked to, including Mexicans, admitted that they didn't really know what was going on, but they knew something big had happened. Facebook pages and Telegram channels had lots of pictures indicating there were still many blockades and activity happening, especially in Jalisco. I saw the same images floating around mainstream news and social media. And the effect of the stay-at-home order is that nobody really knew what was going on. When I talked to some local residents, they said they did not really believe that the cartel boss was dead. They noted that nobody had seen the body, and because it seemed strange that they would transport him to Mexico City for medical treatment instead of to Guadalajara, which was closer. It's also known that this cartel leader has two sons who had taken over Sinaloa and Jalisco. So there was speculation about whether anything would really change. One Mexican I spoke to, who wishes to remain anonymous, said that this was indeed a big deal for Mexico. He also said that many people are upset because this cartel boss wasn't as bad as some of the others and had done more to help his people, building roads between cities and healthcare centers and providing housing for the poor than the government has done. This person was concerned about what would happen now. Other people are more concerned about the impact this will have on tourism in Mexico. In 2025, tourism in Guanajuato City had dropped by about half during the annual Cervantino Festival, which is an international music festival. And people link this to the U.S. Embassy listing Guanajuato as an unsafe area. I'll continue to monitor the situation. I'll let you know if anything significant happens. Thanks for watching.
Student loan repayment in the United States isn't just a system. It's a maze with trap doors, moving walls, and unexpected dead ends that keep borrowers guessing at every turn. If you've ever tried to figure out whether you qualify for forgiveness, which repayment plan makes sense, or why your payment suddenly changed, you're not alone. Hundreds of thousands of borrowers are navigating a system that keeps shifting under their feet. As of February 2026, more than 800,000 federal borrowers are stuck waiting for decisions on student loan forgiveness and affordable repayment plans, according to the U.S. Department of Education. That backlog isn't just a number. For borrowers, it means uncertainty about monthly payments, whether interest is adding up, and even if their qualifying payments are being counted correctly. Student loan forgiveness is one of the most talked about and divisive issues in the U.S. Some see it as a lifeline for people drowning in debt. Others view it as unfair or free money. The reality is, forgiveness never means a free college education. There are always catches. For many borrowers, the process has been frustrating. After years of making payments and following the rules, they feel like the government promised relief it couldn't fully deliver, leaving them stuck in limbo and disappointment.
When we signed the paperwork with the U.S. government, there were stipulations in that agreement on what we can do to get those loans forgiven, and that was heavily marketed to us. Like, don't worry about this giant loan. There's ways you can get it forgiven. You won't have to pay all of this back. We weren't dumb, stupid kids. We looked at it and we're like, this is way too much money for what I'm getting. There's no way I can pay all of this back. This is ridiculous. And all of the colleges and the loan officers are like, no, don't worry. You're not going to pay it back. You're not going to pay it back. It's going to get forgiven. That was part of the deal. So it's changed a lot over the years, but when I went through this process, it was called income-based repayment. And there were two ways that you could have your loans forgiven. One was if you worked in a public service sector, so like a nonprofit or something like that, then after 10 years of not missing a single student loan payment, you were able to get your loan forgiven. Or if you paid your loans and you didn't miss a single loan repayment for 25 years, then you got to get your loans forgiven. And here's the problem. For those people that did the 25-year plan, only like 10% of them are able to get their loans forgiven. And for the people doing the public service part of it, it's less than that. It's like 5%. So these people built a whole life and a whole plan, financial planning around the US government for giving the loans like they promised to do, and they took it all out. And they stuck with that financial plan for 25 years. And only 10% of the people actually get the government to pay back their loans. So I did this for 3 years. And when I looked at all of the paperwork after 3 years, I owed more money than when I had started paying back. And I was paying over $1,000 a month in student loan payments. And I wasn't even covering the interest on all of it.
Not only are those loans not being forgiven, but the Department of Education currently has a backlog of more than 730,000 new applications. Many borrowers are also waiting on public service loan forgiveness buyback applications, also known as PSLF buyback. The original PSLF program, launched in 2007, promised loan forgiveness after 10 years of qualifying payments for people working full-time in government or nonprofit jobs. The buyback program, introduced in 2023, was designed to help those who were short on qualifying payments due to technical rules, essentially letting borrowers buy back missing months to qualify for forgiveness. While it aimed to fix long-standing problems with PSLF, it added even more applications to the system. As of now, tens of thousands of borrowers are still waiting for decisions. Adding to the confusion is the rollout of the SAVE plan, Saving on a Valuable Education. That's been rocky. Designed to lower monthly payments and speed up forgiveness for smaller balances, parts of the SAVE plan were blocked by federal courts in 2024. Borrowers were left unsure how much to pay or which rules applied, creating delays and more stress. And just when borrowers thought the system couldn't get any more confusing, the government is planning to launch another loan option this year in 2026, the Repayment Assistance Plan, or RAP.
So unfortunately, the SAVE plan has ended for student loans, but here's what's going to replace it in 2026. The Repayment Assistance Program, also known as RAP or RAP, is going to be launched in 2026. This is the plan that's replacing SAVE and the older IDR plans, and this is how it's going to work. Payments will be between 1 to 10% of your income. Payments will be tied to your AGI, which is your adjusted gross income. Forgiveness happens after 30 years. It replaces multiple older plans like the Pay Plan, Repay Plan, and ICR plans. Interest does continue to accumulate. Not everyone will automatically move into the RAP plan. If you are on SAVE, of course, that has ended, so you will not remain there. You will be required to go in and select another plan. So if you fit into any of these factors, you may want to consider the RAP plan. Low or moderate income, borrowers who are wanting predictable income-based payments, borrowers who need forgiveness eventually, and then borrowers who cannot afford the standard fixed payments. This plan affects tens of millions of people, so make sure you understand all of your options.
The student loan repayment system in the U.S. is overwhelming, frustrating, and constantly shifting, leaving borrowers stuck in uncertainty. The challenges we're seeing highlight the need for a simpler, fairer, and more transparent approach to funding education.
At New Earth Innovations, we search the planet for nature's most powerful healers. This took us all the way to the coast of New Zealand. Our Omega 369 Plus is made from the Perna greenlip mussel, rich in omegas, chondroitin sulfate, and rare glycosaminoglycans. The Perna is one of nature's powerhouses. Support joint flexibility, easier breathing, better digestion, and a calmer, less inflamed body naturally. Grown in clean New Zealand waters, backed by nature, sustainably sourced, trusted by thousands. Subscribe today and start feeling the difference.
Hi everyone, this is Leanne.
And I'm Jerry.
Coming to you from Tamworth, New South Wales.
Hi there, this is Rick from Arizona.
My name is Uchechukwu Obenebam from Igbo tribe, Nigeria.
Hi, this is Scott from Utah.
I'm Annette from Agassiz, British Columbia.
Hi, I'm Marcus Surzet from Manipur State, India.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. That's what United Network News is all about.
Can you clap?
We had a huge flood, which some call the flood of the century.
No fake news here. Our field messengers share personal experiences of what's really happening in their community.
We got some nice fish right here.
At UNN, you are the news.
My family and I had a very good time.
Take the next step. Become a UNN field messenger and share the real news with the world.
In the northwest province of South Africa, I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News, and if it's going to be, it's up to me.
It's going to be, it's up to me. If it is going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to us. Field Messages, United Network News. See you next time.
In Tobago, the surfing community and local residents are coming together to raise concerns over a proposed hotel development. UNN Field Messenger Sophia reports on their push for eco-friendly, experimental tourism designed to work in harmony with nature.
Sophia here again, Field Messenger for United Network News from Tobago in Trinidad and Tobago with part 2 of the Mount Irving surfer community building here this circle outside of the Mount Irving beach as a peaceful protest for what is planned at the peninsula with the Rocky Point development. Rocky Point in southwest of Tobago is one of the island's most treasured coastal landscape. A place where pristine beaches meet vibrant reefs, world-class surfing breaks, marine turtle nests, and layers of historical artifacts stretched back centuries. This natural jewel is at the center of a debate about the future of tourism, community benefit, and environmental stewardship. A proposed large-scale resort development branded under Marriott has been put forward for this area. Supporters argue it would significantly increase Tobago's international tourism profile, create jobs, and expand room capacity at a time when the island is seeking economic growth. However, the proposed hotel must undergo an environmental impact assessment called EIA and receive a Certificate of Environmental Clearance CEC before construction can proceed. This is a lengthy process due to the ecological sensitivity of the site and Tobago's sensitive coastal ecosystems in general, as Back Bay and Rocky Point is environmentally and culturally significant. It's one of the few beaches in Tobago with active turtle nesting and a fringing reef system that supports marine biodiversity. Critics also question whether the scale of a luxury chain hotel aligns with sustainable tourism objectives. Hear what the founder of Save Rocky Point Foundation, Mr. Dwayne Kenny, has to say.
So, Mount Irving is our home. It's one of our most important surf points in the surf spots in the whole of the Caribbean, and for Trinidad and Tobago, the best wave by far. And a group of us began, and over the last few years, we've been growing and growing and growing, getting the word out about protecting the location. It is the home to 60% of all the laying turtles in Tobago. It has the only reef in Tobago that is spawning coral. We have the oldest fort in Trinidad and Tobago on the site. You have probably the most used scuba diving site for the tourism sector, and again, one of the best waves in the world. And the point itself has the largest kiln of Amerindian artifacts that are still coming out to this day. So we believe that any development that goes there must be in harmony with all of these things, not level it and just put up concrete. It should work together to generate an amazing location that both the locals, community, and the foreign tourists can come and enjoy together and enjoy. So that's what we're doing. We're protecting this point.
That is nicely put together.
SaveRockyPoint.com.
Yes.
You can research us there. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. You can check us on social, and we have lots of content up, and we're very involved with the movement.
Thank you so much, Dwayne. The website shows an interesting proposal for an environmentally harmonious and tourism-friendly development. I hope you found interest in this report. This is Sophia for UNN. Until next time.
With more people cutting sugar and steering clear of artificial sweeteners, the demand for alternatives has exploded. Sugar alcohols get marketed as a smarter choice. Fewer calories, less impact on blood sugar. But new research is making things a lot more complicated. And there's way more to the story than what you see on the label. Sugar alcohols, or polyols, are sweeteners that chemically resemble sugar but won't get you drunk. They've been around for more than a century. Sorbitol hit the market back in the 1920s and really took off during the diet craze of the 60s and 70s. You'll spot names like erythritol, xylitol, maltitol, and sorbitol all over ingredient lists. While they exist naturally in tiny amounts in some foods, most of what's out there now is mass-produced from corn or starch. People like them because they have fewer calories than regular sugar and don't send your blood sugar through the roof, which makes them appealing if you're diabetic or doing low carb. Xylitol even helps fight the bacteria that causes cavities, which adds to the whole healthier option vibe. But they're not without issues. Because your body doesn't fully absorb them, they ferment in your gut and can cause gas, bloating, cramps, or straight-up diarrhea. Serious enough that some products actually come with laxative warnings. Some people react badly even to moderate amounts, especially with maltitol or sorbitol. More recently, research has connected high blood levels of erythritol to an increased risk of heart attack and stroke, and scientists are now pushing for longer-term studies to get a better handle on what the real risks might be.
Sugar substitutes may be killing us. I would avoid them completely until we have more information. I'm Dr. Evan Levine, board-certified cardiologist. Xylitol and erythritol are known as alcohol sugars. Although they're found in nature, they're heavily concentrated by industry, like 1,000 times. Now, you can find them in loads of things. You likely ingested some this week and didn't even know about it, like breath mints, sugarless gum, toothpaste, mouthwash, cough syrup, chewable vitamins. That's right, those gummy vitamins. It's frequently added to large quantities of candy, baked goods, cake mixes, barbecue sauces, peanut butter, ketchup, puddings, pancake syrup. It's all over, folks. And even in gummies sold in fertility clinics. Oh, Lord. Now, you only eat fresh organic foods, hoping there may be some benefit, while you aren't aware you're ingesting these chemicals. The Cleveland Clinic study in 2023 found the risk of heart attack and stroke nearly doubled within 3 years when people had the highest levels of erythritol in their blood. Then in 2024, a study in xylitol in the European Heart Journal, the results were basically the same. People with the highest levels of xylitol compared to those with the lowest levels had nearly twice the risk of heart attack, stroke, and death.
As concerns pile up, a lot of people are switching to things like stevia or monk fruit, which get marketed as more natural. Highly purified steviol glycosides are generally considered safe and have been studied for their effects on blood pressure and glucose, but some people report nausea, bloating, dizziness, or a bitter aftertaste. Whole leaf stevia hasn't been studied nearly as thoroughly for safety.
Another big one we've seen recently is overuse of stevia. A lot more studies are coming out about stevia in high amounts, the impact it has on progesterone. It can serve as a bit of a progesterone blocker and has been seen in certain studies to act as a bit of a birth control for people. So overuse of stevia has actually even been contributing to some fertility issues. It's definitely something to look at. I don't think stevia is a bad thing. It's just now in everything, it seems like. How we were having stevia 10 years ago, 3 drops in coffee, it is now in every greens powder, protein powder, electrolyte powder. So it really is just overuse of stevia.
Monk fruit extract seems to have fewer documented side effects so far, but long-term data on humans is still pretty limited. Most safety assessments are based on short-term studies or animal research. Most importantly, a lot of commercial stevia and monk fruit products are actually blended with erythritol to improve texture and cut down on bitterness. That means you might be consuming a sugar alcohol without even realizing it. The blending makes it tough to figure out which ingredient is causing problems if you do have a reaction. Regulatory agencies classify purified stevia and monk fruit extracts as generally safe at normal intake levels, but they haven't been studied for decades of high-dose daily use across large populations. Sugar alcohols sound harmless, even healthy, especially when you see them in sugar-free or keto products. They promise sweetness without the calorie bomb or blood sugar spike you get from regular sugar. But they're not risk-free. The smartest move right now is moderation, reading labels carefully, and remembering that even natural or sugar-free sweeteners deserve a closer look before you assume they're totally safe.
In Malaysia, homeschoolers are taking lessons outdoors, exploring forests, streams, and gardens. UNN Field Messenger Lewis shares how these hands-on, energetic classes help children learn while building a deeper connection with nature.
Hello, this is Luis, Field Messenger for United Network News, reporting from Kuala Lumpur. Today is Family Nature Day at Janda Bay, a nature lovers spot located approximately 30 kilometers northwest of Kuala Lumpur, the capital city of Malaysia. The event is organized by the Didik Alam Society, a circle of homeschoolers from around the region who enjoy providing children with different types of learning opportunities. Let's pay them a short visit. The first activity of the day is a mindfulness class, where children and parents learn how to be more present in the moment. They learn how to quiet their mind and pay closer attention to their inner world and to the world around them. They learn insect observation. Using catch and release methods, they become acquainted with some of the residents of this area.
Introduce everyone first. Yeah, parents can scan the QR code. Yeah, so take more info about the birds.
Yes. One page. You can even do the same plant every day, and you follow the journey of the plant, or the journey of an insect, or the journey of a bird, whichever it is, and you can put it inside here.
I hope you had a taste for what Family Nature Day is all about in this small Malaysian community. Until next time, this is Luis reporting for UNN.
Trusting your intuition is really just about learning to listen to that quiet voice inside you that somehow knows more than all the regular noise in your head. Through this sense, guidance is always available, not from outside advice or other people's takes, but from somewhere deep in your own being. When you trust your intuition, you're trusting a part of yourself that already knows the answer. A lot of people talk about intuition spiritually, describing it as your higher self, your soul, or maybe even something divine nudging you the right way. It's not some booming voice. It's quiet, almost like an internal whisper. This guidance shows up in physical ways that are easy to miss if you're not paying attention. A gut feeling, goosebumps, sudden tension in your shoulders. Your body picks up on things your logical brain hasn't processed yet, basically acting like an antenna. The mental and emotional signs are just as real. A calm but certain knowing, an inner nudge that keeps repeating, vivid dreams, or those wild coincidences that feel too specific to ignore. Anxiety spins you in circles, but intuition feels clear and steady. The idea is your nervous system and spirit are reading energy and information faster than your conscious mind can catch up.
You've been taught goosebumps are just a reaction to cold or to music, but they're actually bio-spiritual confirmation codes. Goosebumps are truth bumps. It's a confirmation when your soul hears the frequency of truth. Even before your mind does, your body knows and responds. So the tingling isn't random, it's resonance. Your fascia and your hair follicles are electromagnetic sensors. They pick up subtle frequencies from sound, from memory, from spirit. And when they spike up and raise, it means something just resonated as truth. In ancient teachings, goosebumps were a signal of truth, evidence of multi-dimensional energetic co-resonant frequency harmony alignment with truth. So goosebumps are a signal from your soul. It's how your body, it says, remember this. You've heard it before and you'll hear it again. So the next time you get the truth bumps, listen. Your biology just confirmed truth, and the truth will set you free.
There are absolutely times when you need to listen to that voice, especially when it comes to safety. If something feels wrong and you can't put your finger on why, that's not the moment to ignore it, to just be polite or rational. Same thing with your health. Ongoing exhaustion, body tension, or this nagging feeling something's off might be your intuition telling you to take it seriously. In relationships, intuition picks up on things like emotional distance or inconsistency way before they become obvious problems. And when you're second-guessing yourself, intuition can come through as quiet confidence, saying, "You can do this," even while fear is yelling the opposite. The challenge is figuring out what's intuition and what's just overthinking. Intuition is calm and grounded. Overthinking is loud, messy, and goes nowhere.
If something feels off, it's off. If something feels like it's not quite right, then it's not quite right. If you're getting kind of weird vibes that you shouldn't trust somebody, don't trust them. See, your intuition never lies. The issue isn't your intuition. The issue is you have not found the courage to listen to it. You're questioning it. That will change the moment you start to act based on your intuition. So if you walk into a room and it just doesn't feel like the right place for you to be, leave. If you meet somebody and you don't feel like yourself, that's probably not a good person for you to be around. If the vibes are off, believe the vibes. Your intuition isn't lying. And the more you start acting based on it, the stronger and louder and better it's going to get.
Being intuitive doesn't make you some kind of mystical psychic. It just means you're paying attention to subtle cues and actually willing to trust them. If you want to get better at it, you have to make space for it. Meditation, journaling, time outside, whatever helps you dial down the constant mental chatter. Mindfulness helps you become more aware of your body and emotions, making it easier to tune into your intuition. Paying attention to when your gut instincts are right helps you build self-trust over time. Cutting back on digital noise can help too. Intuition doesn't shout. It speaks softly. It works best when you're grounded and clear on what actually matters to you. It's not about hunting for signs everywhere. It's just about being present enough to really listen to what's already there. In the end, trusting your intuition just means trusting yourself. It's recognizing that wisdom isn't just about logic. It's also in that quiet inner knowing we all have. When you start listening to that little voice, things feel less like a struggle and more like falling into place.
Now it's your turn. Join our weekly meetings and become a field messenger. More information is available at our website, unitednetwork.earth. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news.